As a reminder, next Sunday we will not have a Sunday gathering because we as a church are recognizing what we call at Proclamation Church our rhythms of rest. Rhythms of rest allow us the opportunity to simply Sabbath or stop and reflect on what the Lord has done in our midst and how we can come back together refreshed and ready to jump back in on what's happening in the life of our church. I'll send out a guide on best practices while you rest next Sunday, but before I do that, let's acknowledge what the Lord has done in the life of Proclamation Church so far this year that we can spend time during our rhythm of rest thanking Him for. First, last week we shared how we have 7 Proclamation members who will be moving overseas in the coming months. These individuals are using their skills, abilities, and talents that they do for the glory of God strategically for the mission of God. This week, be on the lookout for an email with ways that you can support them financially or through prayer as they prepare to leave. Second, as our church grows, so does the need to minister and care for our people. For that reason, we want to announce to you all that we have recently hired Michael Vargas as our student director and Benji Majors as an associate pastor here at Proclamation Church. I cannot tell you how excited I am to have them on staff, and I look forward to seeing their heart for you poured out in service. Why don't you put your hands together and welcome them? Now I want to give you guys a quick financial update. Last November, we shared with you all that we are expecting our giving to be at $540,000 for the year. As of last week, our giving was at $288,000. With this in mind, it looks as if we'll be at $650,000 by the end of the year. Can we put our hands together for the faithful generosity of God's people here at Proclamation Church? Here's what's so dope about this. Number one, we aren't even in summer yet, and we have exceeded what we are anticipating. But what's even cooler is that this number doesn't even include any external gifts. If you include external gifts, we are currently at $328,000, which means we are well on our way to our budget number. Now, of course, we've done some spending and we're setting aside a large portion of our money to go to the construction of our parking lot, which I'll talk about in just a second. But before I do that, let me say this. It's easy to hear about money and wonder, well, where's it going? Well, since we launched our church 3 years ago, we have had a goal to give about 10% of our yearly budget to church plants and community engagement. And this year, we are able to give 8%, which is up from 6% last year. So you know, we have already given a little over $9,000 with another $23,000 planned to go out in the next few weeks with Serve 615, Kids Week, and finances laid aside for church planting and missions. Family, God is calling us to be a diverse family on mission to see the flourishing of the church, our city, and the world. And we're able to do this, number one, because of His faithfulness and your generosity. So guys, thank you so much. Now, let me bring you up to speed on our parking lot. Almost two years ago, we informed you all that we were going to be starting the process of saving money, raising support to turn the grass lot in the back to a parking lot. Well, family, all the money is raised and we are finally ready to start the work. Now, before you clap or get excited, we still have to wait on to the construction and the proper paperwork from Davidson County. So you guys can be praying that all of that will be approved ASAP so we can begin this work. In the meantime, though, there's something I want to ask every single one of you to begin to consider. Over the last 8 months, we have seen our 9 o'clock service continue to grow exponentially to the point where we are now averaging close to 50 more people in the first service than our second. Our 10:45 service hasn't experienced those numbers as we have fluctuated on average between 50 to 70 people during our second service. When we tell you to go and proclaim, many of you guys are living that out by going and telling the truth of Jesus while at the same time inviting others to church with your come and see mentality. Listen, we love that. We love to see that happen, but truth be told, at the rate of growth we're experiencing in the first service, we will be at capacity by the fall. In fact, there have already been a few Sundays here where we didn't have enough spaces for people to park during our 9 o'clock services. If we want people to continue to be able to hear the life-transforming power of the gospel and to experience community in ways that will allow them to flourish, we need to begin thinking through creating space for them on Sundays. So here's the ask. I want to challenge 30 of you to consider attending the second service until we start and complete the parking lot. With your passion of inviting others to join you on a Sunday, we know that in time that service will grow as well because of your obedience in proclaiming the love of Jesus in all areas of life. Now, I know that's going to involve some of you switching up the times that you serve on Sundays, but if we want to see the flourishing of our local church continue, this is an easy and practical next step for you in order to make that happen. Take the Rhythm of Rest week to pray and ask God to reveal to you if you're one of those 30, and if you are, I'll see you at the 1045 service on June 2nd. While you're praying, begin asking God to move during Serve 615 and Kids Week coming up the week of June 3rd. If you haven't signed up yet, there's still plenty of time to do so by going to the events tab on our website at proclamationtn.com.